Hey, you got it. Thanks.
Oh, I only need one.
Right there. It's going around.
Oh, good gosh. Really? You're gonna have to move.
Yeah, Mark. I already signed you.
Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Beckman? Here. Mrs. Stevens? Yes. Mrs. Sintig?
Here.
Mrs. Swanger? Here. And Mr. Simonis?
Here. Okay, next we'll all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Swanger? Yes. Mrs. Sintig?
No.
Mrs. Suda?
For the new business, I have questions. So, do we accept the agenda without talking about new business? Well, usually, but who decided new business? Who decides new business? We had a workshop and we glazed over some of the stuff and now it's an ordinance.
Well, it'll have to be brought up for discussion when it comes to that point.
So what do we do now if we don't approve the agenda?
And you know, or you abstain, or if you don't agree with it, then you disagree with it.
Well, I think we're disagreeing with that.
We'll discuss it further when we get to that point.
What's the mumble? Can't hear over here.
I asked the solicitor if we don't have an agenda, can we have a meeting?
There was a question from the audience. Was that participant called on?
No.
Mrs. Swanger, did I call on you?
Yeah.
chair back here, so if you guys could speak up, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I think we couldn't hear why she objected to the agenda.
Nobody asked her.
But you can change it.
And still have your meeting.
Okay, which part was it agreed upon?
I told you what I said. Everybody heard me. I think the
And I
question
voted
was,
no for the same reason.
Okay.
at our workshop, the fiscal officer mentioned some of this stuff. We did not discuss any of it. We had talked about different ideas. None of that was talked about either. What are the ideas? What are we gonna do? I don't think you're gonna find it on that.
I know, I'm
piece of
trying to
paper.
find out.
Write it down. So, what do we? I don't agree with this.
Okay, well, prior to the ordinances, prior, we'll discuss them before we do anything.
What's this? I guess.
If I may, the agenda with the new business, we talked about the topics. We did not put forth the request for an ordinance from council. I think that is the objection for me, why I didn't approve it, and I believe that's what Barb is insinuating as well.
Okay, well, when we get to the point where those come up, those topics can be brought back to committee for discussion.
Okay.
Instead of having first readings on them, if that's what the case may be.
Okay, so what are we doing?
So, Mr. Mayor, the vote was 3-2, approving the agenda.
The agenda is approved, and we're going to talk about these things when we get to it. That's where we're at now?
Exactly.
Let's go.
Okay, now we need a motion to accept the minutes from the March 24th, 2026 regular council meeting. And also the workshop for April 21st, 2026.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for the March 24th, 2026 regular council meeting and the minutes for the April 21st, 2026 workshop.
I'll second.
Sorry.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Warner? Mr. Simonian?
Yes.
Mrs. Sindo? Give me a moment, please.
Do we get these with our agenda?
No.
So we're just expected to read it now and then approve them?
No, I do not. Not the book. Good. Molly, huh? Are you listening next time?
Yes, for me. Did you guys read this?
Blow by blow?
Yeah.
Most in-depth minutes we've ever had.
That's what you asked for, that's what you got.
I.
I thought there was a request for more detail.
Yes, there was.
Okay.
Can we request that you read that so we know what you guys are talking about?
Right now, they're looking over the last meeting too. Okay. So we gotta give them a few minutes to read.
I believe you can do a public records request.
I'm here now, I would like to know.
I think you have to do a public records.
And they will be online as soon as they are signed.
Yeah, as long as it's on the
Oh.
there was one to have.
Oh, here. Could you pass that to your wife, folks?
Thank you.
These are the meeting minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
You forgot to add in there that we talked about how bad that parking lot was.
That wasn't last time. Or was it in there?
No, it was this time when we talked about parking my truck over there.
Would you like that again?
Sure. I mean, you're putting it word for word. Where I said I'm gonna park there anyway.
That was the week before, that was the meeting before.
That was this one.
One's workshop, one's.
It was the 324 meeting.
324 meeting when we talked about the no parking truck sign. We talked about how bad that parking lot was, with the holes.
The thing I remember you saying was about a bump where you're coming out, but,
Yeah, it's all uneven, the curving.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, now we need a motion to.
well, we need to finish this. Good, vacation. And it was just on there.
Okay, now we need a motion to accept payments as sort of presented.
Wait, we didn't accept the workshop minutes, but it was, I thought, or.
No, she said both.
She said both, okay. Yeah, well, there is some information missing from the workshop one, so.
Okay, payments, we can. Keep it strong.
You guys are somewhere?
Yeah. right, you-
What's missing
for
from the workshop?
midnight.
We're missing a lot of information on the Dixon Engineering and, money for the updates to the water tower. I don't see all of that in here. The EPA air gap system, I don't see any of that addressed in here. That was a major point of our discussion. We had the, admin and the mayor's approval limits for expenditures, but that's not in here.
There's a difference between workshop and council meeting.
Okay, And what's the difference in keeping minutes between one and the other?
I thought we didn't keep minutes of
The
workshop.
council meeting is a record, right? The workshop is not, it's just
It's a
So
discussion.
meeting
workshop.
minutes should cover everything that we're covering in the meeting, that's the purpose of them.
Workshop is not.
Mayor, I think you requested specifically minutes for the workshops. I thought that's what we were doing, was minutes for the workshop.
He did.
I was talking to the mayor, I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay, so are we going to get complete minutes, or are we doing different minutes for workshops than we are for meetings?
What did you request of me? You requested a synopsis.
Right,
That's what you got.
right. Yeah, they don't have to be verbatim as far as the minutes for the workshop.
Well, I'm not asking for verbatim, but we left a lot of information out. And I'm assuming these are going on our website for public viewing, which would mean that we would want some information. Is everything okay?
I'm sorry, there's a bug on there. I'm not saying, it's nothing about you.
Well, I'm just, I thought something was
Speak
wrong.
there.
I thought something was wrong over there. So, you know, we are trying to do this so that the public residents can read this information and have the data that's happening here. Are we not?
Workshops, we don't make any decisions, correct?
They're workshops.
Right, but there was, we had a rather
We
large
discussed-
discussion at our last
Yes,
workshop,
we did.
a rather large
Absolutely right,
discussion.
we did.
And the residents will want to know this information. And I think that that is valuable information to put in the meeting minutes so that they can see that.
And you just said we don't make any decisions, and how do we have an ordinance on our agenda if we don't make decisions? There's 3 ordinances here. How, what does that
Let's
mean?
get back to the ordinances, let's keep this going.
We can't say stuff and then
No,
not be
when we get to
clarified.
them, we'll figure out when we get to them. So have we okayed the meeting?
We're looking at it.
I say that there's information missing. It's up to the mayor to make a decision if he wants to add it or not.
Go ahead and add it.
This is what you got. The notes I took. You told me a synopsis, that's what you got. If you wanted more detail, you should have told me that beforehand. I was talking for a great deal at that time, giving information.
Right.
How could I take notes and talk and present at the same time? If she wanted more details, she should have taken the notes.
Well, you know, it would be,
Yeah, right
if we
there.
get minutes ahead of time for review, maybe we could send them back with agenda, and then we won't have to have the discussion at the beginning of the meeting, and we could go a little bit smoother.
It might.
What are we talking about this in workshop?
Okay, table it till workshop.
Yes.
Go back to accepting payments as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the payments as presented.
I'll second. Is that Gloria? Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Swanger? Yes. Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Cuda?
Yes.
Mrs. Sintek?
Yes.
Committee reports will start with finance, Brenda.
The revenue was, $115,887.97. The expenditures was $35,767.73.
Our revenue is, higher because we got our tax distribution from this past year. The half year settlement.
Need a motion now to accept the finance report as presented.
Yes.
Motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept. Yes. No, second?
Yes.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Cuda? Yes. Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Sintek?
Yes.
And Mrs. Swanger?
committee reports from water and sewer, Sam?
Just basically, you're gonna discuss their increases,
If you want.
and then where we're at with the litigation. I'm assuming it's over with.
Yes.
Okay. So we just
Sure.
need to figure out. And from what I'm reading, we didn't get our.
No, the judge, you want me to talk about it?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so the judge in our favor in that the fee was owed, but he did not award attorney's fees because there's nothing in our ordinances that allows for an administrative review of a fee, enforcement, or whatever you wanna call it. So with your committee's permission, I will begin drafting legislation to fix that problem.
Absolutely.
Yep. Do we know how much how much we lost? Do we have an idea?
I charged $525 for the whole thing.
Their wages,
Right.
ongoing, and that was $270.
And the judge said that that was just, his belief was that they would have been paid that regardless of whether they were in court or not. So he didn't know that.
So that, yeah, but that means that they could have been here doing stuff in the village instead of setting up.
Right.
So this was for a grinder abuse of 126,
Yes.
and we lost, that was paid, correct?
So the question for your committee is to review whether you want to continue with the driver abuse fee, or if you want to change it, or what you want to do. And then once.
And that's when they'll be working on an ordinance to,
Well, I will, with your permission, be working on an ordinance to fix the administrative flaw
okay.
in the administrative appeal process in the driver fee ordinance. So, but if, whatever your committee decides from there.
All right, so the village lost about $7 million. And that comes out of what fund?
And then it comes out of the general fund. I don't know.
We can expense it from either one. We did pay it out of general fund.
Last money.
Okay, next committee, cemetery, we don't have.
I just put in real quick.
Oh, sure.
On, the third, we're wanting people to come to the cemetery between 12 and 3. It's gonna be like donations, but basically it's just come, maybe help us, I need this. Plant some plants, I've got plants, and we're getting a lot of donations. People are giving us mulch, just that we can get together and
It's like a
kind of
garden.
work together.
Like a general
Yeah,
cleanup.
it's a general cleanup. And then this, we put together as a new pamphlet. It shows the price of the burial. It's not good, it's good information, not fun stuff. But there is a discount. Oh, it's very nice. Pam, Lauren, Mindy worked on it. So.
You said
then-
Donna's gonna put them in,
yeah, these are basically to be put in the welcome mat baskets. I mean, if you're in Rock Creek, we want to keep you here.
Okay, so what's the discount?
And Roman Shores, part of Roman Shores, I don't understand that part.
Only the 4484.
Something like that.
What's the discount?
There is
I
a
got real
discount.
curious here.
Or here, pass it down, you just pass it around, and then we can pass it off. If we could pass that to the public. Okay. Oh, it's still me again. What am I on, cemetery? Okay.
you're interested.
Okay, as of last week, all the lights are off. That was last week. And I'm unsure about the LED lighting. You took it over from me a couple months ago when I first called it in. So, you know anything on
I got a call this week from the electric company.
that?
They can't give us a date as to when they would start doing the streetlights, but they said there is a project throughout the state on replacing all the streetlights throughout the state,
To LED?
LED.
I received a call from Mr. Schultz that the lights across from him have been updated. Bob Schultz said his lights across from him have been updated to the LED.
That's 4 of them.
Four of them, you
Right.
noticed?
I agree. No.
They said they couldn't give us
First
a
one on
date.
your way into town, I guess.
It's sometime between the next 3 to 5 years, we're supposed to have this done statewide.
Lights turn on. We're gonna start painting fire hydrants again. And Donna Wazny, where are you? Well, she'll be helping me. So we'll get started. We'll everybody know when we're done.
Well, no, when you use that phone.
We're changing from, what is it, was it aluminum to chrome? So for safety, you'll be able to find your fire hydrant. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody that was involved with Zito. I know Lori actually started that in 2025, just questioning about it, what we could do, because we do own the building. So if we own it, we need to make it presentable if we're trying to make everything else. Pam, Chloe, Cecilia were involved in doing, but it looks really good, guys. It's kind of much better. So, and then I have a question, the sidewalk, when does that start? Like, when did we get the grant? Who wrote the grant?
We were awarded that last year. When did I apply for that? Do you remember? I think it was early in the spring last year.
First half of the year.
And then, we found out that we had made it through the last round.
Is that something that go down and take photos of all the sidewalks?
Yeah.
So we need to measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused. It will start where and anywhere?
It's going from the elementary school down to the park.
On that side.
On the east side.
So
only
we'll
on
still
the
keep
east
the
side.
old beat up one on the other side.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
But it'll be safer.
Right, but they are looking for grants to do the opposite side.
Yeah, we had, actually applied for more, but that's all that we were awarded.
I don't care if other people don't do their service.
So, yeah.
Make money on that part.
Yeah. So, actually, the Chloe can talk about that a little bit. They'll start tearing out the sidewalk next week.
Okay, next committee, safety, Barbara?
I don't have a report.
Dan?
Oh, can I just, would you guys think of putting like a letter together for people, even seasonal? Because we were thinking about like, you know, like tips are good, that type of stuff, like a safety.
I think Barb and I actually we had a brief discussion today, and we had some higher level things to address. Communications, I think, yeah, communications, I think, we definitely need, have some communication gaps between the residents and the council. I think there's some great opportunity there, I agree. And, I mean, if we
I was
want
talking more
to,
about safety.
yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about a newsletter, I think we could do something more all-encompassing than
That's-
that.
Well,
I think
we talked about a newsletter though already.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gave everything to Dave.
There were suggestions on
Suggestions?
the newsletter. Okay, just saying, next.
Okay, staff thing. You're ready.
Okay, SCAD, there was 196 call-outs. There were only 10 for Rock Creek, which is we average 10 to 14. So you appear to be pretty healthy. The highest number of concerns were 19% people, 15 for trauma, and 14 for SOB. And that shortens the draft. They're still working with the insurance company concerning water damage to their building, and they just completed their audit with very few changes. They had a very good audit. Done.
Planning commission?
Alright, so I'm just gonna read mine, because I have quite a bit and I don't want to forget anything. So the updated zoning map has been completed and the planning commission is moving into the required public notice and hearing phase. This step ensures every resident has the opportunity to review the map, ask questions, and provide input before council takes any action. I also spoke with the county auditor, who confirmed that these zoning map updates do not affect property taxes of current residents. To keep the process transparent, I'm preparing a PowerPoint presentation that will be available on the village website for anyone to review, and printed copies will be provided for residents who prefer a paper version. Public notice and the public hearing meeting date will be posted soon. I'm also working with Cecilia on an operational statement and a resident code of conduct acknowledgement for the planning commission. And I'm also creating a short questionnaire for any resident interested in serving on the planning commission, and they're available for pickup here at the office, or I can email them to you. My email is on the website. The planning commission will not be recommending anyone to be appointed to the commission, to council, until the two documents I'm working on are completed, and I have time to collect or review questionnaires and speak with individuals. And then I have 2 questions for Lauren as well. Did you add the committee chairs under our names, so that way everyone knows who to contact?
I started to,
Okay.
and then I think I closed out and never published. But I know I got to do it.
Okay. And then my second question was, can you add a page to the website that explains the process for making the public records request? So yeah.
Okay. Personnel?
Well, I don't really have much except, this is more for myself. So you brought up keys. My opinion, none of us should have keys. It's just my opinion.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
I do have a key to that door because it's pro tem. My job is if Dave doesn't, something happens, he can't be here. I'm supposed to have the key to open it. But Exhibit A, I'm giving the key up. I'll find other ways, and if not, we'll set outside their solar lights. This way,
Well, I'll
we're
be
all
honest.
treated the same.
I'll be honest with you, and I appreciate that, Sam, thank you very much. To be quite honest, I feel the lock should be changed when we have change in administration, because we don't know what keys are out there. I think that's another discussion for a workshop. I wasn't gonna go into that here, but I think that
It's okay.
you know, in this day and age, you know, we have people concerned about safety, and so I think that we should have, and I thought it'd be great if,
Yes, one.
Yeah, they repeat and all that.
So they don't want to be
Then repeat since we.
So you're concerned with.
so your key doesn't work over there?
It works on that one.
Oh.
That door. It doesn't open it when you take the key in, right? Anybody can take the key and open. And the kid's here. Because there are rumors that we come and go as we please, and that it's not true.
Who now has a key at that table?
We went over that the last, I don't think you were here, your husband was. Me.
You're the only one,
Well,
nobody
the
else.
employees have them. And Dave. But I no longer have it.
Yeah, my point is, and my point for the request, just to be clear, because the residents don't know why I asked for that, is so that I can come here on my time and go through the ordinances. And we do have cameras for security, so my thought was council should be able to have room, access to this room, especially for committee meetings. I would think that this would be the location for the committee meetings, and they're not always going to be at the same time that people are here, obviously.
The only ordinances that are out here are codified one says everything else is locked up.
Okay, well then maybe we need to work on that as well. Okay, something else to bring to the table.
I have a question. Chloe, did you just say that after the last hire? So is that the process that we typically follow?
Yes.
When we have a new
We have to hire some of those, we change all the locks.
Okay.
is there
So
a-
there is, that's in
So
there as
that's
a
the
safety
policy.
issue.
Yeah,
We
it's a
got
policy.
locks that.
So we have a policy, we have a written policy on that?
It's not written, but
Okay.
It will be.
Yeah, I mean,
that is the practice from as
Since
far
it's
back as
just
I
been
can remember. Yeah.
So should that be ordinance then? Or policy, but that is just policy?
No.
Should be under procedures.
But it doesn't require an ordinance to change the laws.
All right, personnel.
I'm done. That's my key. I get my key.
Under official reports, I've got nothing. So the administrator, Paul?
Not too much, but next week we will start the sidewalk project, which we're just gonna start removing the old ones, again, from the elementary school to the park. So we will be removing those and we've been spending our free time working on it.
Who's gonna do the sidewalks?
We are just removing them and then they're bidding out
The new one.
for the new ones.
Is that part of the grant? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, we
Are gonna
agreed.
do part of
We agreed to remove it.
It's part of our in-kind contribution to the grant was,
Our part is to remove the old, and Mike Ritter was gonna, and is letting us dump all the concrete behind his shop. So we have place to get rid of it. Why wouldn't you dump that behind the maintenance garage, all the other concrete? We don't dump anything behind the maintenance garage.
They're bidding that out. Is that coming? Who's they?
yes, they administer the grant, it will go up to bid, and then there will be a bid meeting, and, we will decide, probably,
Is it?
yeah, but we'll set a time to, open the bids.
Where did the bids go? On our website?
Yes.
So what's the report?
So, generally speaking, when legislation is requested, it can be requested by anybody on council or any village official. And I draft the legislation, and then council decides whether to approve it or not. It takes 3 readings to approve any legislation before you can vote on legislation, unless you want to pass it as an emergency ordinance. One of the pieces of legislation we spoke about at the workshop was the spectrum easements on the roadways. There was no vote asking me to prepare that ordinance. You can decide not to vote on it, you can take it off the agenda, and Spectrum will just have to stop work. But Spectrum would very much like to put in fiber optic cable. The maps are now in the custody of the fiscal officer who's responsible for the records. And they've been marked so that if that ordinance is passed, the mayor can sign it, the easement, and they can finish their work. There is a provision in our codified ordinances that says ordinances that council votes to ask the solicitor to prepare ordinances. Because you're not a charter village, that's not the only way ordinances get passed. You also have to abide by the Ohio Revised Code. The Ohio Revised Code 733-262, and I have it for anybody who wants a copy of it, the actual one, says that, where did it go? The village fiscal officer appointed under this section shall perform the duties provided by law for the village clerk and treasurer and any other duties consistent with the nature of the office that are provided for by municipal ordinance. I think it's reasonable that the duties consistent with the nature of the office of the fiscal officer will include requesting fiscal ordinances. I found no case law, no ordinance, no law that says otherwise anywhere in the state of Ohio. So, the ordinances were requested by a village official or by a member of council. They were placed on an agenda. I put language in the Spectrum ordinance asking that it be passed as an emergency only because of the weather. That's entirely up to you whether you do that or not. Same with the water ordinances. They were requested by a village official, consistent with their duties, and you can approve them or not approve them or send them back to committee or whatever you decide. Just because they're on the agenda doesn't mean you have to pass them. It doesn't mean you have to do anything with them today at all. They're mostly just on for a first reading. So that's kind of a little bit of discussion about the process for legislation. And I can tell you that that's consistent. I looked at Roaming Shores. That's consistent with what Roaming Shores has in their ordinances. It's consistent with the way the city of Ashtabula does it. It's consistent with most of the areas around here. So that's just kind of an informational report from the solicitor. That's all I have.
Zoning inspector, tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay, my name is Jamel Spikes. I'm the new zoning inspector. A little bit about me. I used to be the zoning and housing inspector in Ashtabula. Here, I've just been going through the book, getting to know the area, getting to know people around the area. I have stuff that's been set on my desk that I've been going through. I've issued some permits. I got actually needed. Yeah, and I'm doing it all. It's not what's the priority. It's just whatever's there. That's what I go through and do. I'm going through some of the stuff because being in the city is totally different than out here. So like I see a lot of different stuff like vehicles and how like I don't know. So I'm reading yours compared to mine because in the city it was a big deal about cars sitting there and all that other stuff. So and some meetings to come, I'm gonna have some stuff that I want to actually say and probably get put into an ordinance. And there's certain stuff, and if you guys want to go online and look at it, so like if you get a letter from me, it's not because like I'm not picking. I'm just the ordinance states this, and there hasn't been a zoning inspector, so I'm gonna do my due diligence, and then we can sit, talk about it, and come to a decision on how we're gonna move forward and get everything fixed up. Because everybody wants a clean area, and your property may butt up to their property, but if yours doesn't look as good, it's gonna bring down theirs, and so forth and so on. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Good job.
Okay, my error. I accidentally jumped over fiscal officer report.
Might be pushing that still there. Well, I do want to say that these water ordinances, at the end of the meeting last week, I asked Dave if he wanted them on the agenda, and he said yes. I did not take that upon myself, like you guys seem to think. So, did want to throw that out there. Lauren, can you help me pass these papers out, please?
Can I decline? You want to? Oh.
You don't want one. Believe me, you don't want one.
None of us know yet.
I don't know.
Staying with them?
Yeah. And you're gonna help us through.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not an accountant.
That one's pretty good.
I'm not a lawyer.
That one? No? No. Joe,
No.
would you like one? Sure. John?
One for Donna. Bob, your little stuff is with one, just your big mouth gets started over.
Is that really necessary?
Oh, you're
Say that,
that.
No, we'll just put it out there. He is a resident and a taxpayer that pays your paycheck.
Alright, we've got a lot of noise, a lot of conversations, and I'm missing what you guys are saying.
You know, what would you?
Okay, so maybe until they get settled in.
Anyone else that concern me? Joe?
I can share.
Okay, I would like to explain what everyone is looking at. I've been put in a position where I have to defend, the sewer replacement fund that I actually had absolutely nothing to do with. But I would like to explain this fund, and to the best of my knowledge, what I think has happened to it. We have two different stacks of paper. Let's start with this one. If you look at this one, each color represents a different year. You want one? You want to say? No. This breaks down from 1991, when the ordinance started the sewer replacement fund. Every transfer into the fund, and then every time money was appropriated to be spent from the fund. And if you look at the bottom, it was $299,350.03 from 1991 to 2011 that was transferred into the fund. The fund had no other way to generate funds. It had to be transferred from the sewer operating fund into the sewer replacement fund. It got money from nowhere else.
Right.
And then if you look in that same time frame, they appropriated to spend $300,001.76. So they appropriated a little bit more than they actually spent, which just means they probably have a little bit of money left over at the end of the year. You don't have to appropriate whatever you spend, which is why that number is higher. That's the only reason why. Underneath that is every ordinance that shows the transfers and the appropriations to prove what I am saying. So you see, I'm not just saying it, I'm showing you the facts. The next step of paper. Mr. Schultz left office at the end of 2007. This is showing you that at that point, 2006 and 2007, the sewer replacement fund had a zero balance. So when Bob left office, he knew darn well there's no money in that fund. Yet he still says it mysteriously disappeared.
Over and over.
Yes.
Can I clarify that I never accused anybody of anything?
You don't, he does.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm tired of it.
Okay.
This money was long gone before I came on board.
Absolutely.
Not one person has ever come in this office and asked where it is.
Excuse me. I feel like tensions are getting a little high. I feel like
If you were the target of this for many
Take this
years,
down.
you'd be a little high too.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
I think that this was not on our agenda tonight.
This is part of her report all week long. It's part of her report.
I'm sorry, you're not counsel, I was talking to counsel. So,
It's
I am
part of
not,
what
the
continues.
mayor,
To do her report.
The mayor knew I was going to discuss.
okay, I would have appreciated it being on the
We should
agenda.
let Pam finish her report.
So,
Absolutely.
this paper here is just a part of the minutes, talking about how broke the village was and there was no money to spend. And I only put this in here so you see the state of affairs. This money was not spent inappropriately. There was no money. I'm not blaming anybody or saying anybody did anything nefarious with this money. But the rumor mill has to stop. I was not involved with the village at this point in time. on my back. I can't tell you how many people come in this office and say, hey, I heard you stole money from the sewer replacement fund. And Wendy, you can make that face, but Warren has heard them do it.
Well, you know, everybody in this room has a target on their back. When you sit at this table, you have a target on your back.
Order.
This is notes from Teresa, the outgoing clerk at that time, that said, we set aside money in the sewer replacement fund, and we use this money to buy grinders, sand, wire, etc. Oh, there should be another paper with this. And this is just showing the debt at that point in time. There was no money. Nobody did anything nefarious. There just was no money, and it took us forever to recover from that. So then in 2011, when we switched from one accounting system to another, that became, to the best of my knowledge, it's not in the minutes, but from what I can tell, that became what we now have as the sewer improvement fund. Bev and I sat down one time for, I don't know, probably 6 hours and tried to figure that out. But I have been as thorough as I can be. I hope this puts it to rest and we don't hear any more about the sewer replacement fund.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. The policeman enforcement, why is that on there?
Policeman enforcement
Just a
officer.
Yeah.
It's just a general.
We used to have a police department.
A long time ago.
Oh, it's probably just in part of their ordinances. I just gave you the transfers in and out, and there's probably other things there, but that was not my main focus.
I have a question, seeing as a lot of this was pointed in my direction.
I wonder why.
If you want to clarify your memory a little bit, I never accused anybody, especially you, of taking money out. I told you when I was talking about it. Find something funny about it, Joe, or what?
Yeah, it's hilarious the way you
Yeah,
insinuate.
well, yeah.
Oh, it's
When I mentioned that to you, I said that was before you even came into office.
There have
And
been a couple times
hang on a
I
minute
said
there,
that.
hang on a minute, cool down. I was approached by a former council member. That's why I brought that to your attention. That he had told me, so I've already identified it as a male, that there was over $300,000 in the sewer replacement fund when he was on council, and that's why I asked you about it. And I told you before that I never accused you of it, never accused anybody about it. I just asked what happened to the money.
And I have told you this
So
before,
you're-
I have shown you the records before, but yet every few months you bring it up, you won't let it go. And then when you
First of all, I
say
don't
that-
bring this up every few months. All right?
Alright, can we stop? So all this
I just
information
wanna
is out
say
there.
thank you, because it does clarify where it went, so thank you.
Well, if
That's-
anyone
that's-
would have ever come in and asked, I would
Absolutely.
gladly give them the records.
Absolutely. Thank you for providing it.
You're welcome.
And clarifying all of that.
Okay, where are we?
She's doing her report. Oh my God.
I did want to talk about the water a little bit. I might make a recommendation about the water rates, but I think that it has, kind of been misrepresented a little bit. You guys all have here in your packet the appropriation status for water. As you can see, our year-to-date expenditures are 21.0, I think it's like 8.9%. Yes, so, I mean, I never said our water department is dire and we're sinking. I did say if we don't do something, I think we will get that way. Okay, well, and I do still feel that way, but I also feel that it's more about infrastructure. We keep having breaks and things, and I've not seen that put out there, and I do feel that's important to put out there to the public. We have, serious needs with infrastructure, and part of what I recommended was an infrastructure fee, and I haven't seen that put out there at all. And I feel that's important to put out there, that I am not just recommending that we raise rates without infrastructure. And one of the questions raised last week was, how do you know that money's going where it's supposed to? Every month I give you guys the yes, and if you look, it has the water improvement fund. You can see every month what is there. You guys can track that yourselves. So, I don't know how much
Can I
more.
interrupt 1 second?
Yes.
Could you give us an idea of how much a water main break is costing us as an average?
That's what we said at the last meeting.
It's about 10,000, so.
Minimum.
You had
Minimum.
two.
Depending on how big it is,
last
where
year.
it is.
It would be hard to.
So it's something that we can't predict.
About 20,000 a year.
So you need to have a little bit of money, it's like your house. You need to have a little bit of money set aside because you can't predict when something's gonna break. So that's a lot of money. We've had 4 in the last 2 years. So the chances of it getting older, which it is, will probably be having more.
So I have a question. What does the county charge us for water? Like, is there a per gallon rate or?
We pay per 1,000 gallon, but that's not really the issue. It's because, we also pay transportation on that, and then we have to pay testing, tons of testing. We have daily testing, we have weekly testing, we have quarterly testing. I mean, so there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just what we pay for water. And then all the costs with the breaks and maintenance of the line and, I mean, and then we also have maintenance on the SCADA system, which is extremely expensive. That's a system that monitors our water tower. I mean, yeah, I mean, so there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just what we pay for the water, it's the whole system.
Right. I know we do that. I'm trying to separate those two, right, and the maintenance part, because that is the infrastructure compared to like what they charge us.
Yeah, but
What I'm getting at is, are we charging residents less than what the county
no,
is charging?
oh, no. But, I mean, like I said, we've also absorbed the last 2 increases, and I was wrong. I thought it was at the beginning of the year. It is at the end of the year.
Okay.
I was wrong. I went back and read the notes from Doug, and it will be at the end of the year. I misread that.
Okay.
So I
By
was
the time
wrong
we do our
about that.
readings and pass it, it'll be the end of the year.
Correct.
And is there, so we're not allowed to use our water tower, right, or something like that for?
Oh, no, we do use it.
We do use it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It has to be checked every year.
Mhm. 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 We do use it.
What do you use the water tower for?
Might get water.
No, listen, I'm asking, where is it going?
Water pressure.
Yeah.
Does the county line not have enough pressure when it's delivering to us?
I don't know, we have to ask them.
Does the county line provide
Pump it
enough
up there
PSI?
and then
or do you-
pressurized.
I think the questions around the water are things that council hasn't dug into yet.
Okay.
Thank you. Clarifying that. All the rest of the peanut gallery thinks they have that
It
answer
used
too.
to provide water pressure until we looked into the county. Couldn't look at our own system.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, next report from-
No, we did not, because I need to leave.
Also, we can run water line.
I hear the ages.
Next report is from the utility clerk, Lauren.
Just normal adjustments, we had quite a few, grinder abuses, solely fees and lab testing fees, and partial replacement fees in early April, so that's all really the adjustments.
Need a motion now to approve the adjustments?
I'll make a motion to approve the adjustment.
I'll second.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Mr. Simonet?
Yes.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeter?
Yes.
And Mrs. Seavik?
Yes.
Dave,
Moving on.
you mind hearing me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. See you later.
Any old business?
I did have one thing, I wanted to bring up, especially with Jim Morrow coming on board. I think we had 2 positions open on the zoning board of appeals. Is that still accurate? I don't think we filled those.
Yeah, those are still open.
so I think we should really, especially now that we've got a zoning inspector, I think it's probably something we need to maybe advertise a little bit.
I think, we have people for those. Susie King, I think, wants one of them. She was checking with her boss, and then we'll follow back up with her.
Who was the second?
Can't remember. I'll have to look at my notes.
I talked to Vicki a while back and she was up for renewal and she said she would.
She was expired at the end of last year.
Yeah, she did want to do it.
She wanted to do.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Yeah, because we said we were gonna, remember we said we were gonna open it up, see if anybody else was interested before she just said, fine, I'll do it. That's kind of where she was at.
Okay, where we go?
Anything further on old business?
No?
New business.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Okay, motion to adopt ordinance 26, for spectrum easements.
Could we go into some discussion about these before we go to the motions to accept? I think that we have some open questions that, I'd like to clarify. So, Cecilia, you stated easement, we're trying to get this through, the weather, blah, blah, blah. When did Spectrum come to us and, and say we wanna do this? And did we, we talked about it in council that this was happening at the workshop, but, I mean, do we need to talk to the residents before we just start putting lines down their roads? I mean, do we give them a voice in this? I mean, how do we want to proceed as a council as far as the voice of the residents? I guess that's where I'm coming from.
And that, since you asked me, Mr. Mayor, if I may, that's a policy question, not a legal question. Legally, what they're asking for easements of is property that's owned by the village. So they're not asking, for anything that would be on a person's property that they would have to get from them. If the village, I wanna say it was March, when they sent the email about, and the, surveys. Cause really the last survey didn't come till I asked them for it. And that was after they started working on 45. And we have
we don't have any say so on 45,
No.
right?
Do we have, a time frame of when they're gonna be done? I mean, like, we say, yes, you can have this, you can do all this, there are flags, and, I mean, it just looks trashy. And how long do we need to suffer through this? Like, I mean, if we're gonna allow them to do it, I think we need to put some parameters on them.
Tell them to start breaking things.
Yeah, that part, for that.
Well, if you don't pass this, it's gonna be stopped, and it's going to linger on life later, correct?
Yeah, if you don't pass the easement, then they have to stop work. The easement, I mean, the easement is a perpetual easement. It's not for a limited period of time. Cause they're gonna need to be able to get back on that property and fix if there's a break in the fiber optic cable line somewhere, they're gonna have to get back on the property and fix it. So it's a permanent easement. It's not a timeline easement. So I don't know how we can enter into a contract with them requiring it to be done within a certain amount of time, because
This is for.
there's no give and take. There's no offer acceptance and we're not paying them, so we can't say you have to do it within a certain amount of time. I don't know how we would draft that contract. I understand what you're saying, but it would have to be a contract.
Plus, they're only on the first stage, and that's just running the orange tubes down through there. That tube is empty. Then they're gonna have to come back and run the fiber through the tubes. And then they gotta make the connections if people want their service.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an
I think a lot of people will be happy that they have an option of Spectrum. I've seen people on Facebook always complaining about Zito, the price of DirecTV, the price of, I think a lot of people will be happy that I won't be, because they're not running up my road.
Yeah, they're not going on that side of the village at all.
No, it won't, so, but,
Well, and I think, I understand we have a time constraint on this one, and a lot of this is informational for going forward. As we have topics like this, that we are approaching as council, are we going to try to do it in a manner in which we are going to allow residents to have a voice before we just go and pass something and tell them? And this might be minor, you know, to some people, it might be major to some people. You know, it's an evergreen easement, so, you know, that might change people's minds if they know that. So.
Do you know if they're in contact with the other utilities? So the other utilities can mark where their stuff is before they go digging with the equipment?
That's what we've done, that's what the flags everywhere are.
Well, how did they end up breaking a line then if they were two lines?
Same line. Because we don't know where our lines are.
No, they just occurred to stop.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, they hit the marked one, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like it was hit, they hit the marked one. Okay. And twice. Great. And if I might, Mr. Mayor, we have sent a bill for that to Spectrum, we're going to send a bill for those repairs to Spectrum?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So we're on the ordinance. Yes. You wanna get, I think for everybody, we wanna get them, we want it, it's here, we want it done as soon as possible. Correct?
Yeah, Spectrum
So to do this, we're letting them continue on with their job.
What roads were these on? Did we get that?
Was it?
Yeah, it's on
High
one.
Street,
Lawton.
Slope.
Slope.
Can I say
Well,
something?
Dave's down there.
They've done a better
Exactly,
job.
great.
They've done a better job of identifying.
their markers.
On my street,
Yeah,
after
we
they
told
came
them.
up, they are digging down.
Yeah,
and
I know.
They are doing a
We
better
made
job.
sure we talked to them.
They didn't hit me.
You were out there.
I was. I shouldn't, but it was all marked. Everything was done properly, and they're putting a little bit more attention to detail from the things that happen.
I've got a picture on my phone if you wanna see it after the meeting of where they actually ran into the valve and one of the curb stops out here on Lawton.
Yeah.
It's got the big gouges in the front of the valve, and they usually get it.
Yeah, the drill actually, you can see it. It's brass, I think, and it's sort of, you can see it. So, okay. I make a motion to accept ordinance number 2026-0401.
I will second it.
Okay.
Mr. Romeo?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Keita? Yes. Mrs. Swanger? Yes. And Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have a motion to give ordinance 26-0402 bulk water rate increase, first read.
Could I make a motion that we table the next two, the bulk water and the, water rate increase until we get some time to get more detail? We just learned about this in workshop the other night. I've started to come up with questions. I suspect other council members have come up with questions.
The bulk water, we were gonna pay to have that part fixed.
I'd like to know a little bit more about that.
I know a lot of the ones who are on Facebook really want to come back to us.
I saw one, yeah. I was just curious, when did we get notified this by the EPA? You know, what happened? why was the county's quote, I think you said, $100,000 as compared to Shoreside, $1,100? I was trying to sort that out. I still had questions on that and, getting a
Because their
complete
system is much
understanding.
bigger, and we can go smaller, because we don't need to service big trucks. And we also can use the $10,000 meter that we already have.
So what was the change in EPA that caused this?
They now require an air gap system.
So the air gap system is the part that
Yeah.
Shoreside is
Yeah.
building?
Yes, that's the thing that's
Okay.
set up.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the change.
Okay.
And that's the only thing we're lacking in order to get that back in.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Thank you for answering those questions.
So I have a question. So this is a first read, so that means we have to do 3 readings, right? So how long would it be before we could actually sell both water and based off that?
If they got table.
No, I mean,
Right now.
I mean, if you did it right now.
3 months.
if you have to do 3 months.
3 months.
Will we be able to have the part fixed by then?
As soon as the part comes in, we'll get it done and built. Jim said it wouldn't take him very long,
So it could be a month, it could be a month and a half.
Right, it's
Could be.
schedule.
So if we
The
get
selling
that
of that
going,
water though is seasonal.
So I guess, so my question is, should we
Pretty much.
pass the bulk water as an emergency, so we go ahead and get that
Yes.
done and maybe start selling water this summer,
Yes.
or should
Well,
we wait for it to?
I agree with you, but my proposal would be, since the part isn't in yet, we could always call a special meeting if we need to vote on that. And then we wouldn't have to make it an emergency.
But I think once we're in these readings though, it still has to be a certain amount of time, so many months before it goes into effect. So it doesn't, we
30
couldn't like,
30 days after the third reading, right? Is that true?
So by the time we do it, it'll be winter and we can't sell it. Because they're buying it to fill up pools.
So they need
So
well,
we should push this through.
Yeah, a lot of
as quick as
our salt water
Can we
customers
pass it?
use it.
So, Mr. Mayor, if council wanted to pass this as emergency legislation, first there would have to be a motion to declare this an emergency in terms of the water, because you can't sell it without,
right,
or, because the increase is necessary in order to pay for part or whatever.
right.
So that motion would have to be passed first, then the, at least, title of the ordinance would have to be read, and then, as long as the emergency passes and he waives the 3 readings, it can be passed today. If you wanna table it, then there's a motion on the floor right now to table the ordinance. So
I think we should.
procedurally, Mr. Mayor, you need to ask for a second on that motion, on the motion to table.
Do we have a second for motion to table the ordinance?
Can we rescind, can I rescind my motion so that it only applies to, so that we can separate these two instead of bulking them together as I did, my mistake?
Okay. I guess I assumed they were separate anyway. So, but your motion, procedurally, the motion failed because there's no second, so either way, it's gone. So,
Now, if you wanna go for an emergency, you can have a motion for an emergency.
Oh, are you asking
So
me
you would-
specifically? Well,
So you would say motion to give ordinance,
A motion to give ordinance 260402 bulk water rate increase.
and pass it as an emergency?
Because we lost all of 2025 income on that, right?
Okay, I'll make a motion to give ordinance number 2026-0402 bulk water rate increase, and pass as an emergency.
I second.
Mrs. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Simonian,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Me?
Oh, sorry, that's my
Yes,
fault.
Yes.
Mrs. Brenda,
yes.
And Mrs. Sintek.
Yes.
I guess I'm confused, I have a question. When we were back to the fiber optics, did we pass that one as an emergency to keep them going or not?
Yes, because that was actually in the ordinance itself.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Do we
Okay.
need another motion on that? That's to declare emergency and pass, do we need?
Now you need a motion to pass the ordinance.
Yes, okay, that one was to declare an emergency. Now we need a motion to pass.
Okay, I need a motion to pass ordinance 2026-04-02 water rate increase.
I'll second.
Mrs. Swanger?
Yes.
Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sintek?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta?
Yes.
And Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Moving right along.
Well, this one we don't even have here today.
Right.
Yes, we don't even have this one here today. This one.
Coming near the end.
Right, yeah. Is there any other?
Julie and pasta. Oh, pizza.
Okay, we'll need a motion to remove the ordinance 260403 water.
I'll make a motion to remove 2026-0403.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mrs. Sintek?
Yes.
Mrs. Skeeta?
Yes.
Mrs. Beckwith?
Yes.
Mrs. Smonger?
Yes.
And Mr. Simonis?
Yes.
Okay, now we need to set up a date for the village-wide cleanup.
We normally just, advertise it and the village will provide gloves and bags and whatnot.
Or we provide water.
Yeah, and we usually just meet here and everybody just goes in different directions, picking up trash along the side of the road and whatnot. So I'd like to pick a day for that.
This Saturday's
The cleanup.
cleanup.
So, can I suggest, I know Eagleville just did theirs Thursday, can we maybe like hop on that bus and like have our day that day too, so it looks like we have a lot more people.
But you said they just did it.
Right, but I mean, like next year, because they do it every year.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but I'm just saying that's not gonna work now, they've already
Well,
done it.
they just go down
They're still picking.
the way, how,
You're saying for next year?
yes, but we should partner with
Table
them.
it and
I think
we'll
that's,
talk.
yeah.
Where do we do our cleanup?
Around all the side of the street, all the streets, we just,
All the streets of the village.
yep.
What are we're just picking up trash?
Yeah, put it
What
in
do
the
you
bag.
want?
Anybody can find you, keep it.
Water.
Right.
I'll be there.
So what about Sunday? We're gonna be out, oh, that's too long of a day.
Well, I mean, we can do it another day, another week, whatever, just, I can bring it up with the last.
Okay, so we want a date for this year?
Yeah, it's supposed to be real soon.
Hold on.
Or more stink bugs tomorrow.
Should it be a weekend?
I think next
Does it have to
year,
be a weekend?
usually in the past it's been on a weekend, right?
Well, if you want residents to get involved, it needs to be a weekend.
Yeah, they usually have,
Thursday is when.
more availability if we do it then, so,
And the Sundays is so.
I'll go, well, the next weekend is Mother's Day weekend.
No, that would be good.
Hey now, come on. I know.
All the moms go out and clean.
Maybe like the 16th, I don't know.
Right.
16th?
May 16th.
Yes.
Yep.
What time?
Oh, I have a wedding. Good thing I love.
What's the,
Saturday.
Which is the following one? Following the Memorial Day weekend. We want it done before, before Memorial Day. Yeah. It seems like it's early this year.
Yeah, it does feel that too.
Okay, so we are doing May 16th?
Well, I don't think Memorial Day is good.
No.
And you have the thing at the cemetery this weekend.
And then Mother's
Mother's
Day.
Day.
So the only day.
Barbie gonna miss it, sorry.
Yeah.
She's gonna be
Shucks.
so sad.
She makes
So
it
sad.
seem tough. What time?
When do we do that?
Hours.
10 a.m.?
9 to 3?
Oh,
I think
it's
it'd
going
be
earlier.
earlier.
10 a.m.?
I think
10
10.
to noon?
Yeah. We'll just put
10 to noon, 10 to 1?
Okay, 10 a.m. to 1 whatever.
Watch your brain.
Okay, no reason for executive session.
Oh, boy.
Okay, now we'll,
Excuse me, what was the day?
I'm sorry, yeah.
it's gonna be
The
May.
16th, May 16th.
Saturday.
What is?
What'd you say?
starting at 10 a.m.
Meet at Village Hall.
I mean, at Village Hall, we'll give you assignments, or we give you assignments out there, so we don't have people following
We
other.
have trucks going around with truck bags of garbage
We
in.
have trucks, we can do that.
Dave's truck.
Hey,
Barb's is not available, she's not here.
No, she said she would let you use it for that.
No? She's like, yeah, I did.
I could probably
Yeah, well,
stay
it's
till
usually-
11:30.
okay, now we'll accept any comments from the public.
I had a question about the sidewalks. Sorry.
She did.
Like it?
It did. I have a question on the sidewalks. So you said you guys are gonna start pulling them from the school this week coming up?
Yes, this next week coming up.
The next week coming up? School's still in session, and I know there's some kids that walk. Are you starting right at the corner? Or will you be starting a little
We
further?
can actually probably start from right up here,
I just,
we'll go that way.
that was like my
Start
only,
at the
I
park.
can give you the time.
maybe, that was my only,
Are you gonna start at the park and work your way up?
Yeah, school doesn't get out until the
I mean, we
28th.
could make sure that the ones directly by the school are last.
I mean, I was just asking.
Yeah.
It's like you start at the school, and my kid walks, I know a bunch of kids walk, and
No, I can make sure that we start on the other end.
Okay.
When is school?
School ends on the 28th of May.
The 28th. There's gonna be a period of time where there's not gonna be.
There's not gonna be a
sidewalk.
sidewalk at all.
And
Yeah.
there's still gonna be school, but I can try to close that
Just
gap
like the
as much
corner,
as I
just
can.
like the little corner.
Yeah.
Cause there's a crosswalk right there. That's where the crosswalk is, for the school. That was my only concern.
Well, maybe just start at the other end and
That's it, I
say
think
that for
Yeah,
last.
I'll say, I can save that for last. for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Bob, this is for Sam. If you report an issue with a street light and use the illuminating company's website, you can put a note in there asking them to replace it with a LED light. And the last 4 that I did, they put LED lights out.
Okay, good. I'll get one for my house. Okay, well, thanks.
Any other questions from the public?
I have one. It just came to my attention. This is my first meeting, so sorry if I'm a little late for the question, but what is the need to rezone Sloat Avenue to commercial when it's residential?
What is your name?
Kayla?
So this is an idea that was brought up by the prior chair, and it's because we're really limited on commercial space here. We would like to bring in more small business to grow, but it would not affect our current residents, so it would mainly switch over properties that are now empty.
So there's only one property empty on Sloat Avenue, so what would be the point?
But because this is for the future, not right now.
So you're saying like down the road when there's like, all the houses are possibly empty? Is that what you're saying?
So as they become vacant lots, a business could be put there.
Does that affect the taxes
Does not.
for the resident?
No. And I'm gonna have a PowerPoint with all those questions in it. I already talked to Scott, which is the county auditor, that explains how that works.
You also said somebody having a meeting, didn't you?
Well, we have to have a public
Right,
notice and
so
a
we'll
public
have that
hearing.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Tim?
So the house is like my house that's zoned commercial. What happens if there's a freak accident and my house burns down and I try to build a residential house on a commercial lot?
So I can answer that too. So if it was prior, it was a residential prior.
Mhm.
As long as, I think our zoning says 50% or more damage, you have to apply for a zoning permit, and you have a year to rebuild. But you're also protected under ORC 713.15 and Article 4.
Mr. Spikes, I have a question for you. What they're saying about a commercial property in the zoning area, if it was once residential, how can they turn it into commercial?
Turn it to in the future. So say if you're in the area, you move out, and it's empty, and they don't just build commercially. Like they're gonna buy the property. They're gonna build on it. So, but no one's gonna live there. They're not gonna like kick you out and say, "Oh, now we're gonna make it a commercial property." No, that's not how that's working. They're building for the future to get more business, bring more revenue to the village. Just small business, not big big businesses.
Because my understanding of that was, if your house burns down and it's zoned commercial, you are not allowed to build back on that property.
Oh no, that's not what she said. That's what she gave you. She gave you the ordinance and everything and said, yeah, there was a percentage of everything in there.
Yeah, the state, the ORC code is 713.15 and theirs says 66%. Our Article 4 says 50%.
Up to 50%?
Damaged.
What about the insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is insurance
Yeah, so
on
like-
commercial?
Because it's no longer residential.
Are they gonna cover
So
it
your insurance-
residential, or are they gonna cover it commercial?
Your insurance would cover whatever your house is covered under. So that's your policy.
I would check with your insurer. I would verify that. Insurance companies
never
do
heard-
anything they can to get out of paying a claim.
I've never heard of insurance checking done.
When was
Be surprised.
this,
Well, I got the house.
all these lots turned commercial? When did that happen?
So this started when Brian Kinkoff was chair. And then I came in and we finished.
So what year was that?
No, I think he's asking these ones now.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is like
that's a good
20
question.
years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think council should know that
I
before you
would
start
say-
telling these people
I would say
That-
2006 at least.
you're guessing that.
Yeah,
That's what
like
our
20 years
zoning
ago.
ordinances say is 2006, but Bob, do you know how old that map is by chance?
That zoning in 2006 that was adopted,
Okay.
planning commission approved it. We had a public hearing, and then, as I recall, nobody showed up for the public hearing. And then it came to council, and council adopted it.
Okay. And that's this map.
Yeah.
Was there any?
I think at that time Jennifer Takis was chairman of the planning commission,
Okay.
and because her mom's objection when Kathy was on there was, we don't want to become like Mentor, which,
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right. Right.
But, as I recall, nobody showed up for the public hearing, so it got
So
adopted.
it's old. It's been around a while. But that's something that we've
But
been talking about.
as soon as you're addressing that, I don't know how it is now, but, I remember that if you, had a commercial, establishment, the first floor had to be used commercial, you could rent the upstairs. You could have residential on the second floor. So,
So that's multi-use, I think that's what they call multi-use now?
well, whatever they call it, it's just, that's what it was. I'm wondering if it still is, because, if you have a total burn down on a house, a lot of these homes are old, and they go up like a matchbox. So if you have a total burnout, are you allowed to rebuild your residential?
Yeah, so I
home?
think the typical standard is if there's at least one wall of the foundation left.
I will state that having had a fire, we had an old home and our basement was condemned, so we could not have followed that ruling. So I think that's
Normally
why
when
I
a-
think
when a
it's
structure
important to check
burns-
with your insurance companies as well.
There's conditional permits that.
I mean, normally when a structure burns, if you have a basement crawl space, because of the heat of the structure, they condemn the whole thing. So you're having a total condemnation. And this is gonna be a concern, for people that if Sloat Avenue gets changed to commercial, can they rebuild? Are they grandfathered if they sell their residential property are they grandfathered to the new person coming in that they can still use that as residential?
Yeah, so Scott did address that as well. He said it goes by current use, doesn't matter if it's current resident
But
or.
Scott Yamamoto doesn't have nothing to do with our zoning.
Right, but because that's how it works, so it goes by land use code. So like if they sell it as residential, the next person coming in is still residential.
And that'll be in writing?
Yeah.
I mean, like Kayla is concerned about her house down there.
Yeah, I actually am gonna print out the email from Scott that explains that really well. He's better at it than I am, and it's gonna be in that PowerPoint that's gonna be on the website. So that way there's no confusion with that.
Why was this brought to council's attention? Because I've been here since '93, and I never knew that these places were, zoned that way.
That's been the responsibility of the planning commission through the years. So I can't.
But what I'm saying is, why has it been brought to everybody's attention now?
Well, because we're updating the map.
I think we're just paying more attention.
We're trying to, so all of our zoning and the map are at least 20 years old, and everywhere around us is updating things, so we're trying to keep up with the ever-changing landscape of the world.
Has Dan Knight approached you?
No.
He has some acreage adjacent to his condos up there. That he had asked me about it as I was his realtor, about annexing his acreage in the township into the village. I told him to come see you guys because he said something about Glen Bay had talked to him because his property runs adjacent to Glen Bay.
No, I haven't heard from him at all.
Somebody may want to reach out to him.
Okay. All right.
Any further questions?
Oh, this is for Cecilia? Cecilia? So we won our grinder case, but we won't recover the fees.
Right.
So maybe we'll expect a thank you card from the people, for the taxpayers?
So the village has recovered the $126 grinder abuse fee. What they will not recover is the attorney's fees because there was no administrative method to appeal the imposition of the fees.
Oh.
So what the judge basically said was, regardless of anybody's arguments about whether there should be attorney's fees, because there was no other way for the individual to, the imposition of the fee, they had to come to court.
Oh.
So once there's an administrative mechanism. There is some in other ordinances for the village that say if you disagree with this fee assessment, take it to council. So that's what I'll get with the Water and Sewer Committee to draft, is something that says, once you get the written notice from the village that this fee has been assessed, you have 10 days to file a written objection or a written request to council to reconsider that imposition. And that'll take care of the administrative issue that the judge laid his hat on.
Okay, thank you.
Any further?
Yeah, related to that, was this the Syntix property we're talking about?
Oh, that's nice.
Public record.
It's nobody's business.
Well, in
what
the
they're-
interest of transparency, Councilwoman Syntix is costing the taxpayers that money.
Okay, I'm happy to answer that. Yes, it is my property in the interest of, and you were well aware of that, as you know.
What's
I mean,
public?
it's right here, as you said. And I will state that yes, we did fight a claim that was laid against us because it was something that we do not do. So anybody who felt that they needed to defend themselves would do the same thing.
So, Mr. Mayor, if I might.
Yeah.
Everything that's on the court docket is a matter of public record. So, anybody who's interested in anything involving the village that's in the courts, no matter what it is, can look up the village record and make it. So.
Also, there was some talk about the grants. So I don't know if Pam or Dave, or you want to address how does that money work? Like, do they just cut you a check that you could pocket, or do you have to account for that? Well, there's talk of like people embezzling grant money.
There's
so.
no talk about that. It was literally, I cannot even believe.
Well, we're here and it's public.
Well, let's be transparent.
That's, yeah.
So it's like,
Well, it depends on what kind of a grant it is, but,
A single person did that.
most grants, we have to, perform the work and show that before we get any award money. With a federal grant, sometimes we'll get the money first, but then we have to have a lot of accounting for that. And then we usually have a special audit to follow that.
Sure.
Like we had the American Recovery Funds, that we used to purchase generator for the sewer plant and new heating system for the sewer plant. Which kind of stinks because we couldn't use that money for infrastructure, but we did desperately need a generator for that. And we could use it for the gas line for that as well. But, you know, they did give us that money up front and we could spend it, and then we had to do quarterly reports on that, and then we had a special audit when that is done. So, it'd be very hard to embezzle money from the grant because of the additional accounting, in addition to the ones that the state auditor and the county auditor require. So,
Okay, anything?
Just one final question for me. I want to make sure I understood the solicitor correctly. Pam, as fiscal officer, as a village official, would be within her job duties to request an ordinance be written.
Mr. Mayor, it would be my interpretation of 733-262 that as long as it involves finances, that it is a function of the fiscal officer's job. If the fiscal officer were to request an ordinance that didn't involve spending money or taking in money, that would be a different issue. But any ordinance that involves finances, like the budget or appropriations, would be part of the fiscal officer's responsibility.
Sure.
Any further?
Finally.
Sorry,
I'm not leaving here. I just want to address, the fact about workshops. Workshops are meant for the committees to meet and discuss things and, you know, just figure what's going on, problems be solved, discussion. Everybody keeps their own individual notes. There's no minutes that are kept, that are recorded or voted on at a council meeting. Only council meetings are voted on, those minutes, not workshop. It's up to each individual committee to keep their own notes for discussion and keep notes what the other ones are talking about. It's nothing that you vote on. It's nothing that you can say, well, we did this, we did that. It's a workshop. You discuss, you talk, and you come to an understanding, hopefully, and you bring that information to council. That keeps council meeting from being an hour and a half or 2 hours long because you already discussed these situations you want to discuss at a workshop. So that keeps the council meeting really moving much quicker. And that's what the workshops are for, is discussion. If there's no minutes, there's no calling to order, there's no agenda to close, it's none of that. It's just a workshop. It's not an official meeting.
In the book that's revised, from the Open Meeting in this Room Act, it does state in there, in the Open Meeting Act, under the Sunshine Laws, that you do keep minutes at workshops. I do have the book I can show you.
I know you're gonna do. I'm going to be done.
So to be clear, at a workshop, you guys keep meetings moving forward?
Yep.
Minutes, you wanted to know, you can keep minutes at workshop going forward.
It's in the book.
I haven't read one before.
Did you send that to us, Dave?
So no,
If you're gonna vote, you have to have minutes, and you have to have a check. You can only vote on workshops. Yeah.
Just in the interest of keeping the public informed, why wouldn't we want to?
They are open to the public.
Right, but not everybody can get here, so why wouldn't we? I mean, it just seems like not a difficult thing.
this guy.
Now.
Yeah, it's first time that.
This is the first time you guys done it.
I wanted to ask, are we posting that on our website?
Yes.
Since we're recording?
The first time.
No, this is the first time the village did it.
Someone's gonna watch that.
It's the first time the village
The
did
village
it.
is recording it. So if you have something else that you're referencing, I'd be happy to hear about it. Every time I look at it, it's broken. When I asked David if it was working, he said it was broken.
Where are we? Are we done?
So this is a separate discussion. You guys have had.
Oh, wait. Any more questions? Point.
David's still looking at mine.
Sure.
Wait, right
He's
saying something
still.
The mayor is looking something up for.
In the 2026 sunshine laws, under minutes, it does say in here, the minutes do not have to be verbatim transcripts and proceedings, but must include enough information for the public to understand and appreciate rationale behind the public body's decision.
Okay. So it's what we did.
No, the important information was included, pertinent information.
We done? Might be done.
We done?
We done.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Sam's ready to go.
Second.
Sam's starving. It's cold now. It's because y'all